Dames, I'm back with my agenda. Never follow rules, I want my funeral magenta. Just to piss off all my fucking homophobic relatives. Growing more imperative that I control my narratives. So I spit fire through this pop filter. La la, you got to have the Zaza for me to shop with you. Raising my rates and I'll control fates. But if you fuck with me, I bring your fucking life to a stop quicker. I'm in your throat like some hot liquor. Roll through your hood like a drop sugar. Hands like a stock filter. I think if I was straight, then maybe I would pop quicker. Playing the lotto, I'm on the reposado. Can't be in my vicinity if you possessing maybes. Or fragile masculinity like Boosie tip a baby. It's crazy cause the very clothes you wearing was designed by the same group of people used to trying to keep behind. You ain't worried about the kids, you just use them as a shield to hide behind the bigotry of how you really feel. Ain't no think pieces in emails as long as it's some females that's kissing in the backseat. And you can check my rap sheet. I'm running circles around these washed up rappers like a track meet. Been flexing like an athlete. I'm jigging to the backbeat. Work selling them the trap meet. And my niggas back heat. Suggest to keep it cool before they bust and make your hat leak. And I ain't even really scratched the surface. Defeat the self-doubt, don't defeat the purpose. Make sure you got it or you won't complete the purchase. A man without a plan is like a clown without a circus. That's Dames, he go crazy on the mics and shit. Rolling blunts super straight on the pipes and shit. Fat ass with the fucking tiger stripes and shit. I get faded, grab my pen and then I write some shit about this crazy world we living in. My homies steady giving in, the doors steady kicking in. I never care about fitting in. No whipping the E-class, that motherfucker speed fast. I caught me a peach pass and reach for my weed stash. All sports teams, but I'm ballin', nigga. Better have a money move if you callin', nigga. It's my time to shine and you know I'm stallin', nigga. Dames going up, make that shit appallin', nigga. And I ain't even really in my prime yet. But I just been grinding like the time said. Mindset, I'm the fucking money, not a bitch though. I can tell you broke, but I ain't never been a stitch though. Came up on cassettes and CDs on the block. I don't smoke no cigarettes, but the trees stay in stock. It's the D-A-M to the I-E-N. And if I stand out, nigga, why be in? This motherfuck the cops and motherfuck the ops. My niggas got good credit, we talking trades and stocks. I'ma always keep it real, that's what I get from my pops. They'll give me a fucking bullet before they give me my props. I got this war in my mind, I don't know who winning. All this Patron in my body and my head keeps spinning. Yo, how I'ma get to heaven? I mean, if I keep sinning, I swear life would drive you crazy, man. Just keep living. I ain't even really scratched the surface. Defeat the self-doubt, don't defeat the purpose. Make sure you got it or you won't complete the purchase. A man without a plan is like a clown without a circus. Dames, and I ain't even really scratched the surface. No, defeat the self-doubt, don't defeat the purpose. Make sure you got it or you won't complete the purchase. A man without a plan is just a clown without a circus. Dames. Hip-hop. This rap shit is just in me.
I took a hit for the team. Took a bullet for the dream that we would one day all be free. Free from prejudice, free from sexism, free from bigotry. I die for creativity, yeah. I die for freedom to be free. I died and left a legacy. Oh, but baby, I still live through technology. The sun will start shining. Black is the face, as is the pain. As is the pain, and that's just love, just be patient. Your destiny will manifest, yes, for limitless.
Girl. Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Let me check. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay, we good. Oh, Lord. Y'all see how Martin Luther King look in this picture right here? He got the do-rag on and that look on his face like, nah, come on now. Really? We finna do this? We really finna do this? Okay. Let me cut this music down some. I hope that everybody's doing well on this, what's today? Saturday? No, Wednesday. I thought it was Saturday. Hope that you all are doing good on this Wednesday morning. Girl, the fight to deal, expose, actually educate those who are queer-phobic, unfortunately, seems like a never-ending job. We still have people who believe their own opinions, but can't factually bring up their opinions. I'm tired of this fear-based shit. And just like Martin Luther King with this do-rag on, I'm going to make sure that I continue to do my part to call it out. Now, we have given commentary on, again, our bald-head brother and Hotep Christ girl, okay, who apparently knows everything that needs to be known about queerness. He understands queerness more so than queer people do. And who has turned around and created this narrative that when people give commentary on his commentary, that they're hating, they're destructive, they're disruptive, they continue to project the shit that has happened to them onto other people who simply are just critiquing your commentary, which is ignorant. Okay? So what we're going to do tonight, very quickly, because I ain't trying to be on this shit all night, because I'm over here playing Far Cry 4, shooting rhinos and shit, trying to upgrade certain things. We're going to listen again to Lance and his explanation again of the gay agenda and how it's permeating and penetrating everything in motherfucking life. And apparently soon, if this queer stuff is not taken care of, somehow, some way, magically, okay, queerness is just going to override heterosexuality to where, according to his words, nobody will be interested in the opposite sex. Even though queer people have been here since the beginning of time, even though queer people still remain to be the smallest subsects of groups, especially in America. If gayness is that powerful, if homosexuality is that powerful, if transgenderism is that powerful, if anything that is not heterosexual that powerful, where is y'all power? Because right now it gives the illusion that y'all don't even know what your power is or where your power is. Okay? And I'm going to keep my promise. When it comes down to Black people, online, offline, it doesn't matter. When they speak about queerness and they speak about it in a negative, fear-based way, BubzDaGawd will be here to critique and educate. Because what y'all don't understand is that y'all ignorance is actually costing queer people, especially Black queer people, and in particular Black trans women, their lives to be snuffed the fuck out. Now, according to Scurv, girl, the gays are so damn powerful, they have made their way to Africa, especially in Ghana. And now that there is this awareness of queerness to where there's a queer character in every damn thing, all of a sudden we're taking over things. I imagine how a lot of white people felt when they saw a lot of Black representation on the screen. Okay? And if anything, with us being black people, I've said it before and I will say it again. Us as black people, we should be the most empathetic, loving, caring people. But because we're hurt and we're broken as a community, we don't know how to extend that anymore to where it's not even a neighborhood. It's just the hood. There is no community. Now, I do commend Lance on him growing up during the 60s and 70s because, again, during that time, there was black unity. There was black creativity. There was a black renaissance. A lot of the barriers around blackness, or the barriers that were preventing blackness from rising, was slowly but surely being erased. And again, it was just not blackness, okay? It was women's rights and queer rights as well. Black people are not the only stigmatized, ostracized, demonized, or discriminated people in this country. And I think once us as black people really start to heal from our past shit and understand that, then we'll be able to genuinely build community and even strengthen the intersections of blackness. Okay? So with that being said, girl, let's get into Lance Scurv's opinion. And again, whenever you upload your opinion to a public platform, you open yourself up for critique. The same thing with me. Okay? So let's go ahead and get into his video, girl.
Welcome back, everybody. Lance Scurv here with another short one. Just a thought that I want to share with you. Many people years ago used to tell me when I noticed that media, television, radio, social media, everywhere, it just seemed to be a heavy influx of LGBTQ. How can I say it? Influence. I was at a loss for words there.
Or it could just simply be representation. It could be the fact that there are other groups of people out there as well. I could understand it being some sort of influence if queer people were literally replacing heterosexual people and everything, to where everything became queer-centered, queer-dominated, and that heterosexual people were the supporting role characters and everything. Then I can understand if all that was being taken from y'all. But the way that y'all speak about this stuff now is just, wow.
People told me that there was no agenda. And I said, there has to be. You see, if you like ice cream and they're giving away free ice cream, every ice cream truck, every supermarket, every store, every corner, we're giving away free ice cream. The people who love ice cream are not going to be angry with that because they're going to get free ice cream all day, every day, and they love it. So people in that community, which is not a physical location, is what you do behind closed doors, that you're trying to have the right to bring it out in front of everybody.
Okay, I'm tired of y'all saying shit behind closed doors. When y'all can send me the overwhelming amount of videos of queer people sucking dick in the middle of the goddamn street in front of a damn Catholic church, then I will understand. When you see lesbians out there with their shirts off, showing their titties and shit in front of kids all the time, then I will believe y'all. Y'all equate queer people's existence and experience and expression to be something that's supposed to be behind closed doors. No. Queer people are not going back into the closet. I don't give a fuck what y'all think, what y'all believe, what y'all want to believe. Queer people are not going back to that. Just like how black people are not going back to the plantation, girl, queer people are not going back into the closet. And every time y'all open your mouth and y'all keep saying the same damn shit that makes no sense, I'm going to call it out. And yes, you can have an opinion, but guess what? I guess we all gonna be some opinionated individuals. Because again, y'all not doing the research. Y'all not studying. Y'all not listening. Y'all are not understanding how queer people are literally losing their fucking lives. I think I just heard somewhere now that a woman was shot because she put a pride flag up in her damn place of business. Anyway.
They're not going to complain. It's more of what they like. So I had people who claimed to be in that community make videos and, you know, rag me, and I'm just telling you what I saw. The funny thing is, if the weatherman on the news, right? Tongue twister. It's kind of late. I'm tired, y'all. But I had to do this one.
She ain't the only one.
Told you it's gonna rain heavily tomorrow. Bring your galoshes, bring your raincoat and your umbrella, and get that special umbrella that doesn't just flare out, but it flares out and down. And you don't listen, and you get wet. Do you get mad at the weatherman for telling you the truth, and then you find out later? No, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to be angry with yourself. That being said, I was looking at a tweet from the old man Ebro from Hot 97 in New York City. They're all over the internet. Check it out, right? He was saying in his particular tweet, which I'm not sure how long ago, it was within the last few days, because he tweets a lot. And he was basically saying that hip hop music in 2023 and in the last year really hasn't been doing well.
I agree.
He said that recently there really isn't any mainstream hip hop #1 top album. He also said, and I'm speaking his words, but not exactly, because I'm not by the tweet. I tried to look for it, but I lost it. It's buried under so many other tweets. This guy tweets a whole lot. So basically what he was saying is that the entertainment industry is not going to continue to invest their money in something that's not paying back, because this is a business.
Correct.
For many of us who grew up in New York City, especially like myself, we love hip hop music, but I don't like what it's become. And people are not vibing with that craziness anymore that they're putting out there. They're going to have to change their tune. They're going to have to speak out to the producers, the artists, these venues. They have to put out something with a little more consciousness. It could still be fun, like it was back in the day, before corporate America took it over and pushed these agendas that you have to be into the materialism. You have to speak about your sisters, your women, like bees and hoes. And I don't mean bumblebees either, the B word. You know, violence against your brother. And you see where it took us, where it got us. That started in 1990, 89, 90.
Right.
To me, from what I saw, corporate America and those that are in the entertainment industry that don't look like us, that hijacked our art form.
Oh yeah, fair use
took
too.
It over,
fair use doctrine.
Made it theirs as far as profit is concerned, and used it to turn us around against each other. So we're killing each other, and they make the profit off of it. And the artists get thrown a little bit, but they always almost end up broke.
I agree. Yeah,
almost always end up dead. Now
I will agree with that aspect. The system we live in, especially this capitalistic system, wants money. Cream, cash rules everything around me. Okay. Money over everything. Yeah, that's my attitude. Okay. And what he's saying is true. When you do your research, you will see that a lot of these record executives, especially when it comes down to rap music, okay, music that unfortunately is low vibrational, music that only worships sex, drugs, and death only. There's nothing fruitful, nothing life-giving from these situations. They will also, and I've done this in my video, and I was talking about racism and shit, okay, which you can check in my archives. These record executives will literally put insurance claim policies on these artists so that when they die, they will end up getting the money and the family doesn't. And when they do die, especially if they die a tragic death, like being murdered or something, their music skyrockets. People start buying it left and right. And guess who ends up getting the abundance of all that? These record executives. So, and let's talk about agenda real quick, because I feel like we need to have a clear understanding of agenda. There's two agendas. The first agenda is the agenda, like myself, as a Black gay man. I simply want to be able to have the right to marriage, the right to have my kids, and the right to live my life as long as I'm not hurting nobody else or myself. I want to be able to have the honor and privilege to walk down the street, hold my partner's hand without having to look over my shoulder because somebody doesn't like that. Or somebody feel like they got to open their mouth to say something now about it because, oh, the children. And y'all gonna stop using the goddamn children as a shield. Because if we're going to play this children game, let's play the entire children game. But we know you're not going to do that because we understand the covert queer-phobia. Because if it was about the children, y'all would really be about it. And if you learn to love on these individuals who are making this music or being inspired to make this music, then maybe they won't go forth and end up selling their soul through their booty hole for promises of gold and shit. Maybe if you learn to love and accept and get to know these people, they wouldn't have to resort to these things. Again, it's about community. And when community is together, then we can start rectifying all this other shit. But I get it, Lance. And you've been there since the 60s and 70s. You've seen Blackness come together, but you've also seen it crumble. So there might be a part of you that's like, I'm giving up hope. And that's okay if you want to give up hope. The next generation will pick up where you left off. Which is why I continue to make commentary, not just to you, but to other Black individuals, and even commentary on queer people within Blackness who are saying some problematic and doing problematic shit too. Okay? So everybody gonna get the smoke. Everybody gonna get the work. Because if we're about community, let's really be about community. And if you want to sit up here and continue to support some sort of ideology that was taught to you about queer people ignorantly, not realizing again that it's actually destroying queer people's lives, look it up. Look it up. The evidence is there. It's the information age. There is no reason for anybody to be ignorant about any motherfucking thing. Okay? But that's okay, because the short militant midget known as BubzDaGawd is going to be doing that. I'm calling all of the niggas out. I'm calling the niggas hairlines, fupas, all that stuff. I'm calling it out. Okay? Let's continue.
Shot. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been around for a while now. Last time I checked, 1990 was 33 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So there are people born into this. Young Black men and women who were born into this thing that they embrace as culture that has been hijacked.
Mm.
And now they're saying that they're going to focus on the African and Latino market.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
The money.
It's not lucrative anymore for them.
The money.
But the job has been, for them, well done. We embrace that mess as culture. This is not the original hip hop, y'all. I'm not talking about the original hip hop, but this hijack thing that has done its job to just degrade a people. Mm-hmm. Low self-esteem, mm-hmm. self-hate, killing, murder.
Yeah.
And we flock to it because of a beat.
Yeah.
But we don't listen to we do listen to the Poison lyrics, but even when we don't listen to it, it gets into our subconscious mind. So this has been, I'd say, the last 33 years, 34 years. Mm-hmm. They couldn't have Public Enemy kicking that knowledge like that, waking the people up, and having dope, good beats.
Correct.
Fear of a Black Planet. They couldn't have albums like that out there.
Yeah.
No, they had to break things down. Let's fast forward to now and what he said. Africa and the 54 countries in Africa, mm-hmm. some more, some less, is an emerging market. We already have, and I say we because I'm over here in West Africa, and I have the right to say what I say.
Yeah, say what you want to say. I am too. Know that.
Movies. They have their own entertainment. They have their own stars that are operating independently. Of America. There are some who go over to the United States and get awards and receive some acclaim, but the vast majority, it's a West Africa thing. It's an African thing. Whether you're in South Africa, East Africa, West Africa, North Africa, wherever you are. See, and those devils over there in America, in the U.S., don't like to see that. Now, from what I'm hearing in inside sources, especially with the movies,
What's up, Dr. Nakumbe? Shout out
And
to
listen
you.
to this. They are now pushing. Call me crazy now, but you're going to see that I'm telling the truth. This is direct information. And just like that lady who was giving a class on how to take a state exam, and she said, number 23, you just might want to remember this because this just might be on the test. You might need to highlight this one and memorize it. So I'm telling you, I'm not going to make this long.
Right.
But there is a push to bring the LGBTQ situation over into Nigeria and all of Africa, but it's pushed in Nigeria because of Nollywood. And they want to make it where in damn near every movie that they produce, not right now, but they're pushing this, that there must be a main character that is gay. Gay.
Right.
A gay man. I'm not sure if it's pushing the lesbianism, but that's going to be right behind it.
And y'all not gonna complain about that. Y'all not gonna complain about when the two coochie lips are bumping together, especially if two feminine women. You ain't gonna have no problem with that. And again, what is wrong with queer people having representation? What is wrong with that? What is wrong with queer people simply being in these roles? And there was no problem with queer people when they were in these roles for comedic relief, when they were the ones that were being laughed at. I think I remember I was listening to a live on Black Men Unfiltered when I think they were talking about the whole trans women and stuff like that. Somebody on the panel said, oh, well, back in the day, when it came down to queer people, we just laughed at them. It was something to make fun of, not something to actually honor, not something to actually be about, not something to actually, make aware of. But it's like queer people are owning their agency. They're self-actualizing, and they're doing the damn thing. And queer people are very creative, so it's okay for people to pimp queer people like the Black church does. Pimps you for your gifts, your time, your talents, and your money. But as long as you keep your humanity outside, as long as you don't bring your partner in or whatever the case may be, we good. I remember a long time ago when I wasn't organized religion, when I used to go to church, we had an organ player and he stereotypically was gay. With these long ass zoot suits, 4-5 button ass suits, button suits and shit, right? He brought his partner, and I don't even know if that was his partner, but I guess since both of them looked gay and fruity as hell, after he brought him to church, they wasn't in church hugging each other. He didn't have his arm around his damn partner like, yes, pastor, preach. He ain't go up to the pastor and said, Pastor, we want to pray. We want to pray for you to pray for us. You know what I'm saying? In our queer relationship. He didn't do any of that. He simply brought his partner, allegedly, to church. Maybe his partner wanted to get to know God for himself. But because of the way it looked, because of that, he told him, don't bring your partner here anymore. But I'm good enough to play the organ. I'm good enough to stir up the motherfucking gift and stir up the motherfucking atmosphere so that when it's time for the collection plate to be passed around, ain't no problem then. Ain't no issue then. This is what happens when people continue to believe fear-based stuff and they struggle to bring up all the factual, insurmountable evidence and proof. And how you know it's valid is that somebody has to go behind whoever said it first or done the study first and then do the same steps they did to see if they would yield the same result. And the statistics aren't lying. The stories of queer people aren't lying. The videos about queer people, especially Black queer people, it's not lying. And then on top of that, Lance, you praised Uganda. You literally praised Uganda for being bold enough, in your words, to actually do the one thing that you want done, which is to remove these queer people from existence. All that is happening now with this queer representation is to see who's comfortable in their skin, who's secure in their skin, and who is not. Okay? And if sexuality is so fucking powerful, if it's just that goddamn powerful, girl, then why am I not straight and I grew up in a heterosexual household, heterosexual representation? Where did the gayness come from? Where? Logically, where? And since I'm gay and I'm the deviant one and I'm the one that's sick and twisted, help me understand where it came from, factually. Since you are more connected to nature, since you are on the right side of nature, as you would say and others would say, then why can't you call it out in my own individual life? You can't. Let's continue.
But they have to have a main character, a leading role, top billing, maybe secondary, but in there strong to introduce this to the psyche of the youngsters who watch this movie.
Just like how the white people at that time didn't want individuals like Little Richard and all this shit to be influencing their child, to where they turned around and made these goddamn flavorless marshmallows and the macaroni and cheese, blueberry and the greens as watered down version of these black songs. And the white kids listened to it when their parents were up. Well, what were they listening to when their parents went to sleep? Queer people can't help the fact that they're motherfucking creative. Queer people can't help the fact that they the motherfucking shit. And again, where is this erasure of heterosexuality? Where is it? Can somebody please bring it to me? Can somebody please inbox me? I'm talking about overwhelming. I ain't talking about an isolated incident. I'm talking about overwhelming evidence to be like, well, damn, where is it? But again, I have to remind myself about the individual that I'm giving commentary on, their mindset in the time frame that they still want to live in, which is cool. And like I said, about the 60s and 70s, I said this even to my parents. They had the best music. I love music from the 60s and 70s. I love the creative energy in the 60s and 70s. Black people was talking about goddamn aliens and the mothership and all type of spiritual stuff and the third eye. Look at Earth, Wind, and Fire. Talking about pyramids and all type of Egyptian, mystical, African type of stuff. And I feel like slowly but surely we are in that energy now, to where blackness is starting to rise and have a renaissance era. Queerness and women's rights, all these things. But when it comes down to these talking points and fear-based talking points, it literally tries to derail the inclusion of other people in society who deserve to be equal and have equity. And like I said, I'm gonna call out every time. The way that Martin Luther King face look right now with this do-rag on, that's me, that's me, that's me. Let's continue.
Now, you and I are set in our ways. We are who we are. We ain't changing.
You goddamn right.
But slowly but surely,
I'm smoking weed and bugging ass till I die.
It's an overnight thing. It's something that they're going to do over time. Using 1990 as a marker with the music.
Yeah.
The movies have always been trash. We had a few good ones. But we have to understand that music and entertainment is very influential over the psyches of our youngsters. They're not coming for us. They figure, well, Lance, you're 60 years old, 33 years from now. We're not gonna have to bother with you. You think twice. I plan on being here, alive and kicking you in the behind.
I hope you live a long life. No, for real, seriously. I hope you live a long life. Because again, my commentary was never meant to denigrate you as an individual or what you bring. Because again, there are some things that I do agree with when you speak about blackness. But when it comes down to queerness, you can use some context and nuance. And I'm an objective person. So when you say certain things that are objective and truthful, I can't help but be like, you know what, you right. And I'm okay with that. But my thing is, I can't do that when you speak about queerness and it be everything except right. And all I know is you better not strike this damn video. Because again, I don't try to denigrate you as a person. I'm coming for your commentary about queer people. That's where my critiques are at. But hey, I guess because you've been doing this longer than me, that obviously I'm just one of those people who are just trying to cause discourse. You just write me off as one of those individuals. And that's okay. That's why this stuff is solidified in stone and etched into YouTube history. So that when people look back at this shit, they'll be like, wow, the ignorance. Not on my part. Because I do long ass lives explaining and trying to educate people about queerness. That's what I do. Okay? Let's continue.
Really focus on that. Look what has been done to us as a people in America.
Mm-hmm.
We can have our opinions on different things, but it's a done deal. It's a wrap. The youngsters have fallen through and they just don't want to see it. If Hollywood targets Nollywood and brings that foolishness over there, dangling the money, whatever money they're making over there in Nollywood, Hollywood comes in, they're going to dangle the money. And they're going to push this agenda in the motherland because Africa is the future. With the population booming, the resources, the influence, they want to inject that into the psyche of the people and raise up a nation of people who are not really interested in the opposite sex.
How is that possible? How is that possible? And if America is the testing ground for this shit, then why are there so many illegitimate babies being born? Not from us, because two dicks can't come together and procreate. Two coochies can't come together and procreate. But the children are still being brought into the world. Heterosexuality will always be, how can I say this? It will be the main face of humanity, but it's not the only fucking face of humanity. And queer people like myself have no problem with that. Because if I was to sit up here and want to erase heterosexuality, that means erasing the love that my parents have. And I love the love that my parents have. If anything, it inspires me to continue to love myself so I can attract a partner who will also give unto me as well, because I deserve it. So where is this? And again, if America is a testing ground, then why hasn't all of America become gay? Are the birth rates dropping? And if they are, it's not dropping because of queerness. It's dropping because it's such fucking high inflation, all this crazy, scary shit going on. A lot of people are saying, why would I want to bring a child into this world? So again, how is queerness, and I would love for anybody to answer this for me, how is queerness going to stop the production of life? How? And then on top of that, we've said this multiple fucking times. Yes, 2 men and 2 women cannot come together and procreate, but we still have the anatomy and the parts in order to do that. And there are other methods besides sex to bring life into the world. I remember when I was in church, it was this old ass man. He had to be at least 3 hours older than dirt. Girl, it took God 6 days to form Earth, girl, and this nigga was formed on the last minute of it. Who would sit there and say, oh, well, if everybody become gay, then, how are we going to continue to go on with population? First of all, sir, you're 3 seconds from death, girl. You should be getting yourself prepared to go inherit your mansion in heaven. You should be getting yourself prepared to get your crown. I shall wear a crown. You should be ready to go see all type of family members and friends and mama and daddy and everybody else, uncles and shit. You ain't a part of earth no more. You ain't got to struggle no more. Okay? You ain't got to worry about pain, suffering, all this shit no damn more. Okay? It just baffles me when I hear people say that and they don't back it up. And then when you check them on that or challenge them on that, all of a sudden, oh, it's my opinion. Okay, well, your opinion, not you, but your opinion is trashed and it's full of fucking shit. And if you're going to play this opinion game about everybody, then don't get mad when that opinion game is put on to you. It's just, I've said it before and I will say it the fuck again. Okay, do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. Queer people not going back into the closet, and y'all can try that Uganda shit over here in America if you motherfucking want to. There are black people and black queer people who also with the smoke, who got the same thing that everybody else the fuck got, because it's about self-preservation and self-defense. Okay? Y'all please forgive me. I'm over here playing Far Cry 4 while I'm doing this, because I'm trying to get these upgrades real quick.
Therefore, population control.
Yeah.
The promiscuity that comes with that. And I don't care what you say. Just like heterosexual people might be promiscuous, that's
heterosexual people might be promiscuous. Heterosexual people might be promiscuous. What? So heterosexual people are morally more superior to queer people. Are we not going to sit here and act? Wow, I can't believe that was said. Really? So heterosexual people, they might be promiscuous, but all gay people are promiscuous. Gays, that's a part of the thing. It's about sex any damn way. So they're just fucking and fucking and fucking and fucking and fucking and fucking. And again, like the title says, where's y'all's power? Dr. Kumbe said just just a little bit. What? Just a little bit. If it's just a little bit, I'm 6'2". If heterosexual people are slightly, what? Wow. Well, if that's the case, I need to get some sex in my damn life, because I've been over here abstinent from sex because I understand the spiritual aspect of sex. Everybody don't get to get your energy. Now let's get into this. He talks about the music and all the other type of stuff and the influence. Like I said, if there wasn't a lack of love there, then these quote unquote influences or whatever might not be strong, and the influence are sex, and that's not a queer thing exclusively. These music, if you go on TikTok right now and look at the top 10 TikTok sounds, I guarantee you there's a few songs in there that are trap songs made by heterosexual men that have been sped up and some shit been added to a girl, and now it's a new TikTok dance. There are 50 million thousand Lil Durks, Lil Yachty's, King Von's, but there aren't a lot of Saucy Santanas. There aren't a lot of Billy Porters. There aren't a lot of Little Nas X's. I be trying to respect everybody's opinion, but like I said, when the opinions you can't prove and it becomes destructive, that becomes a problem. And this is old ass floor, y'all. I'm not farting. I have class. I ain't that trashy. Okay. Wow. Damn.
It's a different kind of lust and burning.
Wow,
In
really?
that community, no matter how much they try to dress it up and make it seem a certain way.
How you
And this
know?
is not hate speech. This is my opinion.
And it's ignorant as fuck. How do you know that there's a different burning passion, lust part of it? How? Like I said, how are these things only exclusive to one group of people? And they're the minority, but yet the majority only does it a little bit. You can't make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up.
A very educated opinion, because I was saying these things many years ago and nobody wanted to hear me.
Educated opinion.
But look at it now. They're pushing for this. And this is something that I happen to know from the inside. And maybe you'll listen to this video years from now and say, old Scurv, he wasn't lying.
Wow.
He was telling the truth. Because entertainment is very influential. Music and movies, and they mold it into the psyche to make you think that that's your culture. And it's not. And it may not happen overnight. But guess what? Give it 33 more years. We have poverty all over the world, but there's poverty in these countries. Yes, just like anywhere else. And they will introduce drugs to the youngsters. And these young men.
Why do you think they're introducing drugs? Because a lot of people are trying to escape their fucking reality. It's fucked up, bro. So yes, a lot of people are going to self-medicate themselves and abuse it. So yes, of course, that's going to be the case. Again, if people were to let's talk about queerness right now. Let's talk about it real quick. Do you know how many queer people had to resort to selling their fucking body in order to survive? Look at T.S. Madison. She is a prime example of being an individual that was walking in her truth, and the world and society didn't accept it. So she had to do certain things in order to survive. And prostituting and selling your body is the world's oldest motherfucking profession, and it's $1 billion one too. Because if we can be real, if there's two taboo things that black people really don't like talking about for real, is money and sex. And can we be real? We all want some. We all want some. I'm praying for my damn partner. I didn't have a lot of sex during my 20s. And now that I'm in my 30s, when I attract that one, I hope your body is ready. You won't be looking at me like how Martin Luther King is looking at my profile picture right now. My avatar picture right now. Round 3. Hell yeah, round 3. You should already know it's round 3. Okay, I done ate a Snickers or something. I got some sustenance and charge. Now you about to roll up this goddamn blunt, bitch, and we about to get it in. And if you don't want to do nothing penetrative, okay, what that mouth do? What that head do? I remember I was watching Black Men Unfiltered, and they was talking about, what was it? About a gay person or a gay child shacking up. Not shacking up, but staying with the family or their parents for a while until they get on their feet. And it was like, well, only person that should be knocking the boots is me. And you hear other people on the platform, oh, come on now. You ain't gonna sneak or nothing. You and your wife ain't gonna do a little something. So again, when it's heterosexual, there's all this leeway. There's all these loopholes. When it comes to queerness, oh, I don't want anybody fucking in my house. It be the double standards for me. It really do. Let's continue.
Who may not know what can happen because they might need money in their pocket, and they go and do this, and they start to have the turf wars, and the guns are introduced. They already have the music with the filthy lyrics over here. I've been catching a lot of it. And the thug mentality type stuff that we are not. They're going to take time and inject this poison into our minds and into a culture that has nothing to do with that stuff. Kamala Harris came over to talk to the president of Ghana. And what did she talk about? Human rights of the LGBTQ community. And she'll dang.
Hell yeah, because didn't you just make a video honoring the fact that over in Uganda, they're signing a bill that will give the government and sanction the government and the people within that government and in that country to literally imprison or slay queer people. We've seen this. years before this bill came to pass or was implemented. They used in certain countries over there in Africa, they used to take certain queer people who were gay rights activists and publish their names, their pictures, their addresses, the addresses of their family members and friends and all this stuff, and would tell them you would have to let them know, or basically you have to snitch on your gay family members. If they're gay, let us know. And then the homophobic people are going to do their thing. I didn't know. That's what's killing the ability to look out for each other. The double standards. Exactly. We can, you can't. That's not how it works. Exactly. And that's what I be trying to really sit here and really try to focus on within my own psyche. Like, that's why self-love is important. Because when you love yourself, first of all, you're not going to be triggered by certain things. Because you realize that you have agency and ownership over yourself. And when you do that, you'll be able to see the humanity in other people. But at the same time, you won't be afraid to call other people out for what they're doing. And the mindset that Lance has in reference to queerness, a lot of Black people have that. Not all. There might be some who might be like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm still kind of struggling with being comfortable with it, but you know what? I'm gonna see you as a human being. I'm gonna respect you. I'm gonna work through my own triggers. I'm gonna actually educate myself. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I feel like there's a way for us to do this. And if the system, if this capitalistic system, if this narcissistic system, if this system that literally wants to bank off the backs of oppressed people, okay? If this system continues to do this, all of us are fucked. It's going to get to a point to it don't matter if you're Black, it don't matter if you're queer, it don't matter if you're male, female, whatever. If you do not agree wholeheartedly to literally being put back on the plantation, being put back into the closet, and only summoned forth when it's time for your gifts to be beneficial for them, and then your humanity is swept under the rug. But unfortunately, maybe that needs to happen. Because obviously we're not learning from history. The fact that we have all this evidence, fuck just the 90s and shit. There's literally a video out there of Huey Newton. Okay? Huey motherfucking Newton, when he was interviewed during the 70s, the individual asked him about, how do you feel about the women's liberation and the queer liberation? And that individual, who was the original one of the original founding members of the Black Panther Party, he said, I want to connect with the women's liberation and queer liberation, especially those who are politically minded, because he understood that we're all under the oppressive system. And even though Lance has made it back home to the motherland, and shout out to him, because I want to go to Africa and place my 10 toes and my whole feet down on the ground and to feel the ancestral energy rise up my damn feet and work from my root chakra all the way up to the crown. I want to experience that too. But as he sees the American influence of money over everything, it's starting to affect every other place. And don't feel bad, because America is due for an ego death. So trust me, America's going to have their own ego death. I don't know if it's going to be a civil war or what, but we on our way there. But if we keep hiding behind ignorance, if we keep hiding behind fear and trying to find a way to like put this really nice mask and shit up to be like, oh, I'm not queer-phobic, oh, I'm not homophobic. It's kind of like when Black people can feel microaggression of racism. Because we've dealt with it for so long, we energetically know what that looks like. If a white person is following us around the store, we know what that feels like. When the police gets behind us, our hearts drop into our kneecaps, even though we know we ain't doing no shit that's fucked up. We energetically know that. So especially with me as a black person who can understand the microaggressions and the energy of racism, I'm trying to help other black individuals understand that when they speak queer-phobic, when I say queer-phobic, they will acknowledge every other thing that could possibly make somebody queer except the fact that it's also natural. Like if they were able to accept that part, then that's true objectivity. So when people want to accept everything except what's in front of their fucking face, you have some black people that can believe there's a man in the sky who chooses who he wants to bless and done all this miraculous stuff that they have not seen. But you can't sit up here and acknowledge the queer person that's in front of you. I'm gonna do my part. And I've been having some scary conversations because people that think like me and stuff, oh, I've seen what happened to them. But that's why I'm trying to honor up this Harriet Tubman spirit in me, because Harriet Tubman went to hell and heaven and hell of heaven again and again and again and again and lived a old, long-ass age, was taking old-ass pictures. She was 90-something years old, and the bitch had a sawed-off shotgun underneath her damn dress. Try her if you want. Not everybody who is fighting for equality and equity has to lose their life. And if black people were to heal, because that's one element that I think we're not dealing with, because I think a lot of black people are hurt, especially with the Obama administration and the fact that Obama was giving rights to queer people. And if we're going to be honest about it, he was giving it to white queerness. To where a lot of black people felt like, damn, bro, you gonna turn your back on blackness like that? And I think there is a jealousy aspect there. How the fuck these queer people, who according to what the Bible says are vile and abominations, how are they rising? How are they manifesting their best life? It has to be Satan. It has to be, according to them. And I bet if we got pulled over and had fear of the officer and fear their lives, the queer going by with a camera and a voice, it's a godsend. Say it's not. But again, it's when it's beneficial. Like, for example, a lot of these rappers out here are very homophobic, but they wear clothes and brands that are made by queer people, and especially white queer people. The cognitive dissonance. I hope I'm using that in the right context. I feel like I am in my spirit. But it's just like, wow. But let's continue. Oh, shit, I didn't rewind it all the way back, Lord. Damn. Da, 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 da.
I say, old Scurv, he wasn't lying. He was telling the truth. Because entertainment is very influential. Music and movies, and they mold it into the psyche to make you think that that's your culture. And it's not. And it may not happen overnight. But guess what? Give it 33 more years. We have poverty all over the world.
And I appreciate you, Dr. Nakumbe.
Yes, just like anywhere else.
No shit, I'm going to say this. I'm going to always honor and appreciate heterosexual men who are comfortable in themselves and know who the hell they are. I will always highlight them. I will always give kudos to heterosexual men that like titties and pussy and female and ovaries and birthing of children and feminine. I will appreciate those men that like all that, but are not pressed or feel some type of way about a queer person around them. Now, if a queer person hitting on you, then I can understand, because it's like, bro, I don't want that shit. That's understandable. And when the queer people do that, and there's some queer people who do push boundaries, and we need to check their ass too. They're not going to get away with the shit either, because over here on BubzDaGawd, baby, we both handle. We do inside and outside the community. Outside the black queer community, outside the queer community, outside the black man, and inside. So when it comes down to individuals like you, Dr. Nakumbe, I'm going to always give you your props because that is what we need. Men who are willing to stand in their power and know who the fuck they are. A lot of these niggas want to be kings and they want to lead. You're going to lead us off of a fucking roof because a lot of these men don't have emotional intelligence and awareness. They just want the power. They want this to... See, I don't fuck with individuals who are black supremacists. Fuck all that. I'm about humanity. I understand not all white people are racist. But I understand the human umbrella. So when other individuals, especially black individuals, honor the human part, I'm going to always make sure that I give them their props. Gotta run. Keep up the good work and doing your part. Thank you. I don't have to be like anyone but myself, but that does not make me above anyone else. Exactly, Dr. Nakumbe, and thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming through on this late live that I thought I was not going to do. Okay?
And they will introduce drugs to the youngsters. And these young men who may not know what can happen because they might need money in their pocket and they go and do this and they start to have the turf wars and the guns are introduced. They already have the music with the filthy lyrics over here. I've been catching a lot of it. And the thug mentality type stuff that we are not. They're going to take time and inject this poison into our minds and into a culture that has nothing to do with that stuff. Kamala Harris came over to talk to the president of Ghana. And what does she talk about? Human rights of the LGBTQ community. And she'll dangle a little bit of American money. Will we take the bite? I tell you, that would be the worst thing that you could ever do, Nollywood. Keep your originality. You may not make as much money as those in Hollywood,
right?
But keep it intact. The future generations depend on you to give real entertainment from the culture. Speak to the children and speak to the people about challenges in your movies and in your music on how to get out of a bad situation, to teach the people the proper way of living while entertaining them.
The proper way of living.
Don't allow this foolishness to be injected into your creative endeavors, because you'll just become like Hollywood, an agent of death. Let me hear what you have to say. On to the next one. You know I love you and I speak out of love. I speak out of the heart. I don't want to see this happen here. It's demonic and it's evil. Don't prostitute yourself for a few dollars and a little bit more money.
Then love people where they are. You want to know why? And I'm going to use the narrative of the Bible. Okay? Right? Because it seems like that's the one everybody knows and shit. Oh, God, it's a damn dog. Hold on. Damn, this damn dog. I'm so glad I ain't got this sound on, because baby, Peter would be fucking me up right now. Okay? How dare you? Little motherfucking Rottweiler shouldn't have jumped up on me then. And in this game, you got tigers and leopards and bears and elephants and rhinos and shit just come out of nowhere and fuck you up. When Jesus, girl, when he was performing miracles and doing all type of miraculous supernatural shit, do you not understand the only way he was able to do that was through the realms of love? Christ was already perfect within himself. So he was able to see other people as just that, perfect. He didn't see them as sick. He didn't see them as fucked up. He didn't see them how society has indoctrinated people to see them, and classism and patriarchy and all this other shit to see them. He was able to see them for who they were, as whole, and just said, look, I see you as whole. I need you to touch and agree with me that you're already whole. And it was through the power of love. And when you love people, when you listen to people, when you allow people to share their story and you actively listen and you cover them with love. I'm not saying that love does not have any critiques. You can still critique, but to do it in love. When you do it in love, baby, you ain't got to say it's in love. You would feel it. You would know it. Because when you're saying something in love, it will permeate, well, not penetrate, shall I say, and permeate in that person's spirit to where after y'all are done talking, they'll be sitting there later on that night and be like, wow, what this person said to me was wow. It'll make people think. So if we want our Black brothers and sisters to stop indulging in things that are destructive, such as the whole drug aspect. And I ain't talking about weed shit, because bitch, weed from the earth. And it's a scripture in the damn Bible that speaks about the herb. Even Moses was talking to a burning bush. Can I? Andrew, where you at? Give me a Shia real quick. I need a Shia. Oh, Mashania. Oh, but I thank God. Shia, where's it at? Matter of fact, Andrew, come on.
That's one thing. And
You wanted it,
okay.
and you got it.
You what?
You wanted it,
And you what?
and you got it.
Shaya. Oh, Mashanya. Oh, I feel a Shakani up in here. Shandaba. Oh, I feel a Shakani.
Okay. It's a lot of work to do here. And it's crazy because it's like, the thing about this being the internet age, again, this is going to be etched in stone. This is in the clouds. When people look back at this shit in history, we're going to see who's really right and who's not. And I am afraid, low-key, of what's going to happen to Blackness and the other oppressed groups of people if we don't get our shit together. Because for Black people, what happened? The crack epidemic came through and was like a fucking scythe and literally took Black fathers away from their homes for long periods of time. While cocaine was a lighter sentence, and the only element that would give a nigga 20 plus years is baking soda. You know, they giving a nigga 20 years for that recipe. Shout out to Earthquake. What happened with gay men? HIV came out of nowhere. Women were forced back into the fucking kitchen, girl, where they cooked and cleaned and washed everything. And when I come home, bitch, I better have the biggest piece of motherfucking chicken. And when I get out the shower, you better be face down, ass up, for me to come through and lift my fupa stomach up and give you 3 good strokes before I zonk the fuck out. No. If somebody living in their truth is bothering you, what does that say about your truth? If queer people are so powerful and so mystical and so magical, if we like motherfucking 300 with Leonidas and was able to implement things in history going against an army and shit, if that is the case, where is y'all's power at? Me and trapped out Martin Luther King on the screen here wants to know, where is y'all's power? And I still want heterosexual people to answer the question of how queer representation equals the destruction of Blackness. Because there are more niggas dying of gun violence than gay sex. There are more Black women being unalived than gay men having sex.
Because you're going to have to pay for that, and there'll be blood on your hands.
Mm.
Keep it clean. Keep it pure. Remember, the children are an open vessel. Don't allow what you do to poison them from somebody else who doesn't give a damn about any of us. They want to profit off of our death. Much love to you all. Let me hear from you. Leave your comments. Land Scurv out. Peace.
Okay, girl, we done. Well, y'all heard it again from Lance Scurv. And like I said before, there are certain things that I do agree with when it comes down to Lance Scurv's commentary on other things. Because in the beginning, when he was speaking about the system and how it's controlling our narrative, okay? Well, we can actually see the death and destruction happening to where people are losing their lives every motherfucking day. And how these white record executives are pumping millions of dollars into Blackness, trying to reap more than just the million that they put into it. Again, like Lance said, which is true. They would have these motherfuckers do a 360 deal. Imagine these young niggas coming into a record executive meeting, right? To be signed to a label, and there's $30,000 to $40,000 cash right there on the table. A lot of niggas have not seen that much money at one sitting, at least legally. And all you have to do is sign your name on the dotted line. And because a lot of niggas unfortunately don't know how to read, and they see the money, oh fuck that bitch, I get to flex this shit, all this stuff, not realizing that the money they gave you is a loan that you have to pay back. All these other different type of additions and hidden fees and shit. And then if you're not profitable, they get rid of you. So yes, the system is trying to fuck up, trying to take people's expression and distort it. But that's why you have to listen and have conversations with queer people who are not in Hollywood. Queer people who are everyday, regular, schmegular people trying to fucking make it like myself. And whenever I try to have that conversation, a lot of times people don't want to be honest. All of a sudden it's all, well, we can come together in peace and love and harmony. But you wasn't saying all that shit before I was on this live. You wasn't saying that shit when you was on another panel a few days ago saying all this stuff. But now that I'm on the panel and I'm giving you smoke, now all of a sudden is, oh, well, we all need to come together. Okay, well, let's actually fucking come together then. Let's work on that. Or people will just sit there and say, oh, well, because you're speaking against me, you're talking about me, so now you're just a bully and you do all this stuff. No. You obviously not listening to what the hell I'm saying. Because I sit down and watch these niggas' videos. I sit down for hours and actively listen to what the words that come out of their mouth. If you don't want anybody to challenge your thought process on you being ignorant, then maybe you should educate yourself or just don't say nothing at all. And yes, it is your opinion. I will never stop anybody from speaking their opinion. But once you speak your opinion on a public platform, you open yourself up for other people to do the exact same fucking thing. There's 3 sides to the truth, bitch. Side A, side B, and then the truth. So all I'm saying is, let's come together and see what the true objective reality is. Not what you think, not what you feel, not what you believe, but what the fuck it actually is. And I think a lot of black people are not ready for that, just like how a lot of white people are not ready for that conversation, because there's no way to undo homophobia and no way to undo racism until both parties who played a role in this come together and reconcile. Or the universe can keep doing what it's been doing since the beginning of time because we don't seem to get it. It can just put all of us in situations collectively to where we have no choice but to be human. And when that time comes, if that time comes, I want you to know that I'm going to roll the fattest fucking joint ever in life. I'm going to put my do-rag on like Martin Luther King here. I'm going to give me a white button-up shirt with a tie, kind of unloosen the tie a bit. I'm going to put on some sweatpants. I'm going to be all the way just nigga casual, business casual. I'm gonna smoke the entire blunt, and I'm gonna start cussing bitches out and giving bitches 2 pieces because we already here. We already here now. We already in hell together. We already fucked up together. We already got this shit happening to us together. So before we all get fucked up, come in, let me talk to you real quick. So anyway, thank y'all for watching or listening, shall I say. I really appreciate it. Make sure y'all hit that like button, okay? Because that's the most important thing you can do for this channel. My channel is slowly but surely growing. I'm going to continue to put in the work because there are people that see it. And that's one thing I'm reminding myself of. I'm not worried about the views or not being pressed about the views. As long as the right people are listening, the ones that are connected to my destiny, that's all that matters. Okay? So make sure you do that. If you like the vibe here on BubzDaGawd, the random, sporadic, slight ADHD vibe over here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so that you stay up to date with my latest lives, okay? Because I'm like the spirit girl. I come in like a thief during the night, bitch, okay? Tents versus temples. If you that temple shit like Scurv and a lot of them, that's fine. But if you're about that tent life, that life of trying to follow spirit and evolution and growth and awareness and alignment and things that actually benefit humanity, then make sure you hit that notification bell. And if you feel compelled, let me go ahead and put it at the bottom of the damn screen. You can most definitely donate to the Bubs Flow Ministries, okay, where we actually put door knobs on the doors. Y'all gonna see the physical manifestation of the donation. So if you feel compelled, only if you feel compelled, hit that Cash App or Zelle or PayPal. And look, I'm receiving all my blessings in all forms. In order for you to live a blessed life, a positively manifested life, not only do you have to give, you have to also learn to receive as well. I'm a top in real life, but when it comes down to my blessings, I'm a verse. Okay? Both-handed. So again, thank you for everybody who came through. Shout out to Dr. Nakumbe coming through. I appreciate you, sir. Shout out to those in the bushes. Shout out to Lance. If you watch this video, Lance, hey, how you doing? I'm still waiting for you to drop the link. No shade, because again, I'm not afraid of none of you niggas. And if we're really about community, let's be about community. Okay? And shout out to the replay gang. Thank y'all for coming through, and I'll be talking to y'all soon. Peace. Peace, bitches. Where's my outro? Where's my outro?
Love never dies, just choose to be born again.
You see, I just read myself, so just in case your girl's trying to read, it's already been read. So, all the shade is going to be all